It's been a while since we've discussed some Greek mythology, and even longer since we discussed one of the primordial deities. Today's video will be on Erebus, the primordial god of darkness, who many consider along with his wife Nyx to have been the first two primordial beings to have come from chaos. The exact order of these beings does change depending on your source, but if we go with Hesiod, then we know that he was definitely part of the first 5 primordial beings that chaos gave birth to. Quite often people confuse Erebus and Nyx because night and darkness are things that go hand in hand. But Erebus symbolized the darkness and all things inside of it, whereas Nyx symbolized the night. With that being said, the task of spreading this darkness across the sky did fall to Nyx. We can almost look at Erebus as this dark mist that Nyx would unleash and almost paint the sky with when it was nighttime. Their children Hemera and Aether would then sweep this darkness away, bringing with them a new day. From chaos came forth Erebus and Black Night, but of night were born Aether and Day, whom she conceived and bore from union in love with Erebus. Hesiod doesn't really mention Erebus in any story, or in any great detail, but that is the description he gives in his Theogony. Together Erebus and Nyx fathered and mothered many deities, and some of these included Hypnos, Styx, Nemesis, Thanatos, and Nemorai, along with Hemera and Aether, who we mentioned earlier. Before the likes of Hyperion, Helios, Apollo, and any other deity associated with the sun, the ancient Greeks saw Erebus and Aether as the sources of day and light, and that is how they explain the cycle, as opposed to the sun. Erebus and Tartarus were also 2 deities that were closely linked, as some stories believe that when day came, Erebus retreated to the darkest recesses of Tartarus. Because of this, Erebus can almost be considered as the first god of the underworld, and it's this association with Tartarus that led to Erebus becoming a term that referred to a place in between the earth and the underworld that souls would have to travel through. I know this video has been rather short, but when compared to the Olympians, we just really don't know much about the primordial generation. Erebus himself is probably the least discussed of the initial 5, but that's not to say that he wasn't important. The ancient Greeks used Erebus as a way to explain the darkness, and in turn its relationship with light, why so many places may have been darker than others. Erebus and Tartarus also gave us the first concept of the Greek underworld that poets and storytellers would then heavily expand upon. Feel free to share your thoughts and ideas on Erebus with me in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Mythology and Fiction Explained.